In November 2021, my wife Margarita and I undertook a very special journey to Tijuana, Mexico. Since 2015, I had been down to Tijuana several times, taking volunteers with me, doing service projects, and taking down truckloads of materials, donations to orphanages, and especially to one particular clinic, the CANOA Foundation, which takes care of kids with disabilities. This time was a little bit different because I didn't have a group to take down. My friend Joseph Santos in Provo, Utah, who runs a limousine service and taxi service, needed to deliver a vehicle down to Ensenada. He usually drives down there every year, taking some of his vehicles down to be painted or to be serviced because it's a lot cheaper to be done in Ensenada than in Provo, Utah. And on this occasion, he had a bus he needed to take down to Ensenada. And by that time, I had collected a lot of donations, especially medical donations, diapers and other things that needed to be taken down to the CANOA Foundation. So it was a very good timing for us to get together and to use his vehicle for this trip.
Hi, my name is Joseph Santos. I'm from Colombia, South America. I met Neil about 36 years ago at a singles dance in Provo, Utah. And then I have been always very interested in his projects of helping people in Mexico and helping poor people in Colombia as well. I own a limousine company, a transportation company in Provo, Utah called American Limousine. We have 5 limousines and 4 taxis and 4 executive vehicles with transport celebrities to their private jets. As part of that, then I bought a small bus, 22-passenger bus and a 57-passenger bus. But we took the 22-passenger bus, and then the last time that we went and did something with Neil was with my small 22-passenger bus. And then Neil had received contributions from a lot of people with food and clothing and
Diapers, a lot of diapers.
Diapers and 2 wheelchairs, 2 mechanical wheelchairs. And for children, for handicapped children. And we put everything on the bus. We filled the bus all the way from top to the front.
So the trip to Tijuana was a real adventure. We left in the afternoon from Provo, Utah, around 4 o'clock, I think it was. So we drove throughout the night. Joseph and I took turns driving the bus.
And then we took the bus to Mexico. It was quite interesting because when they saw the bus at the border, they said, you cannot come with all those donations into Mexico.
And we were tired. We expected to be able to get straight across the border and then travel to the CANOA clinic. But this time it did not go well. We've crossed the border many times before. Joseph said that he had crossed many times before, taking his limousines across to be painted in Ensenada. But this time the customs refused to allow him across. They said that he needed a special pass or ticket or something, a license for his bus, and obviously he didn't have it. So they made us go back to the United States. Now this is easier said than done because what we had to do was get into the line from Mexico into the United States to cross into American customs again. And this took about an hour or 2 before we finally got across. And the American customs guys were kind of suspicious. What were we doing with a big busload of stuff? And so we had to talk to them, convince them that, the stuff was meant for an orphanage in Tijuana, whatever. But finally we got into California again. So we decided this time to do a different border crossing up to Otay Mesa, which is about 10 miles further east from there. So we drove to Otay Mesa, hoping to get across. So that's where most of the trucks and buses crossed into Mexico. Same problem. The customs agents looked at it and says, no, you need a special license or something for it. And he says, well, we'll let you cross if you can get a work. Joseph explained to them that he was taking the bus down there to be fixed in Ensenada. So they said, well, if you get a work permit, then we'll let you do that. Well, we didn't know how long that would take. It could take hours. It might take days. We didn't know. But Joseph sent an email down to the shop in Ensenada, hoping that he would get a work permit, a work order soon so that we could show it to customs. But Again, we were put into the line crossing from Mexico into the United States. That took a while to get back in the United States, getting through American customs. So now we're back in Chula Vista, the city next to Tijuana in California, not knowing what to do. How were we going to get this busload of stuff into California, to its destination? We were really worried. We were tired. We were upset. We thought we may have to just donate the whole busload of stuff to the Goodwill, which is there in Chula Vista. So we were confused, whatever. So Joseph thought we should try one more time. Let's try one more time at San Isidro crossing. So we drove down there and we're waiting outside. He went into the office. So Margarita and I were waiting inside the bus. Fretful, tired, a little bit upset. And we said, let's say a prayer. Let's pray that things will work out okay. So we said a prayer. We waited. Now we were waiting there in the bus. I would say a good half hour to an hour. And finally, Joseph comes back into the bus. Didn't say anything. Puts the key in. Starts the bus. Starts driving forward. A moment later, we're in downtown Tijuana. And at that moment, Joseph goes, "Ah! We made it! We made it!" And we all started shouting. So it was a bit of a miracle that he had gotten permission to cross into Tijuana at that time. So from there, we were able to go drive through Tijuana to get to the CANOA clinic, which is located on a hill south of Tijuana.
Once we crossed into Mexico, we went to the CANOA neighborhood
Foundation.
on the very top of the hill. We didn't know if the bus was going to make it because there were so many holes on the streets. The bus, we just have to duck the holes.
And the hill was very steep.
Very, very steep. But fortunately, the bus had enough power to go up the hill all the way to the CANOA church. And
CANOA is a Spanish acronym signifying Clinical Care for Children with Other Aptitudes. Many of the children suffer from cerebral palsy and require daily muscle stretching. Some are so debilitated as to require 24-hour care. Despite their limitations, however, each is a beloved child of God with the ability to show tremendous love, hope, and courage.
Foundation. This is Gordon Carter, the founder and director of Charity Anywhere Foundation. This is his warehouse, and he collects all kinds of things that he sends to other countries. Why don't you tell us what some of these things are?
Well, there's a stack of quilts that are made by a group of ladies all over here, up in Logan, down in Provo, and right up there are some bed mats we make out of plastic grocery sacks. There's probably 120 mats in there. They'll be going out. Then you can see there's wheelchairs and walkers and various medical equipment. We've got a man lift right there that was given to us in Idaho. And we gather wheelchairs. There's some wheelchairs right over here in this box that have just come in recently.
Okay, good.
I have been privileged to know Father James since 2015, when I conducted my first humanitarian mission to Tijuana. Orphanage Director Herendida Trujillo introduced me to the humble Catholic priest. Father James is a prodigious grassroots leader, possessed of great stamina and enthusiasm.
No, pero sí, la Ciudad de México es Oye, es muy guapo, ¿qué te pareces? ¿A tu mamá? Ay. Pásate, nada más quedó en video y ya, entonces, ¿podemos pasar las cosas de una vez? Sí, es como que no llega nada, tiene que ir el padre. No.
Here comes a man with a labor-saving device. He knows a tool when he sees one. Yeah. Well, these are from Gordon. Gordon had a lot of diapers to donate. You can use them. If not, we'll get them to an orphanage. We're getting toward the end of it now, the back of the bus. A few more donations to throw off.
the happiness of these people to see all these donations and wheelchairs and the crashes and the food and the blankets that have been made by the Relief Society of the Mormon Church in Provo, Utah, and also the diapers, the amounts of diapers that we brought. It was really a very good experience.
So we have here a special wheelchair that I picked up for $10, believe it or not. It's probably worth $1,000. Here's a children's wheelchair, picked up at DI for $25. And here's Father James taking ownership of this electric scooter that was donated to me. Didn't cost me anything, but it sure took a lot of work to get it down here. So I'm glad he has it. Well, we've left a few things here today. A lot of things. Hey, here comes Father James, getting old before his time. Look at that thing go. Hola, señoras. Oh, you got your Nemo. Hola, Nemo. ¿Cómo está? Bien. Hola. Here comes Father James, bringing up the rear. The work okay? See, you were even in the Marines. I won't tell anybody.
Maximum velocity.
Yeah. Oh, is it at max right now? It probably needs charging.
Van a bajar una ropa aquí y todas las sillas y las cosas de pañales y todo lo van a subir allá. Lo van a meter allá. ¿Está bien?
Está bien.
Muy bien, padre. Where are you going right now?
Aquí estamos haciendo un muro aquí. Vamos a ponerle anillos a bajar allá.
There's Mighty Joseph. Go check it out. Daycare center. It's like the one you grew up in, down in Colombia.
Yeah.
No te apartes de mí. Oh, no.
Marguerite's been working hard for the last 24 hours. Look at her, she's just exhausted.
I am very exhausted. I'm happy we made it.
Made what? That we made trouble for all these good people?
And we're able to meet Father James, meet Maricela, able to unload our materials. And it was a great thing to be able to see Father James again and see Maricela and unload all that stuff.
And they invited us to lunch, and then we ate lunch with these people, and it was a very good experience. We emptied the bus at that location. We were so happy to be able to do this. And then they invited us to a very nice lunch.
They were preparing a dinner, and they invited us to stay for the dinner, and that was a wonderful occasion to be able to have dinner there with them.
Yeah, the good father and his good caretaker, care provider has invited us to have lunch here this evening. And we are so grateful for that. Muchas gracias.
She's a cook.
She's a good cook, yeah. Fantastic. Gracias.
Leticia.
Leticia.
Hermana Leticia.
Hermana Leticia.
Soy misionera.
Sí, claro.
Misionera.
Qué bueno.
Buena
He's a beautiful
cocina.
missionary. Good.
Le
Misionera. Mi mamá me enseñó.
¿Usted es monja?
No, religiosa.
Misionera.
But we didn't have much time to stay there. Afterwards, we finished the drive down to Ensenada in the evening, and we arrived there at night.
Oye, Guarinche, cuando te encontré. Oye, Guarinche, cuando te encontré. Bailaba la rumba, tocaba la conga, cantaba bonito mi ritmo changüí. Oye, Guarinche.
Then we went to a very We spent the night in Ensenada, a very nice hotel, and we only paid like $10 per room. It was just an amazing story. And then we went the next day, and then we had a wonderful breakfast with this restaurant that everybody, all the famous people have been there, and they had pictures of everybody, and everybody put $1 with their signature on the walls. There were about maybe $500,000 on those walls. It was like amazing.
The walls are covered with dollar bills.
They were covered with dollar bills. I've never seen such a thing in my life.
The next day was November 16th, which happens to be our anniversary, our birthday. So we had a beautiful breakfast at a very famous restaurant there in Ensenada, a very interesting and strange, beautiful restaurant. After the breakfast, we went down to the shop where Joseph had his bus, which he sold to mechanics down there in Reed, and picked up a car that had been painted that he was driving back to Provo.
I'm always in Tijuana because they have very good prices for painting. They do very good paint jobs like that Nissan Armada. Really bright, really nice. That will cost in the United States $6,000. I was able to get it here for $1,500. The tint on the windows, it was $50 per window in the United States. That was $300 for the tint. I just paid this guy next to me $75.
Wow.
For the whole thing.
This man?
Yeah.
De bueno.
Gracias, hombre. Ha sido un placer. Ahora me toca dejarte salir. Me imagino que aquí cargar el aire acondicionado. ¿Ya viste el carro de Julio César Chávez? Ese es Julio César Chávez, ¿eh? ¿Ah, sí? Sí. Oh, wow. Mira. Carros clásicos de Julio César Chávez.
We switched to a car that I had there. It was a Nissan Armada that they had painted from white to black. And they put the painted windows on it, and they drove that car all the way back to Utah.
And then
Rosarito Beach.
And then the teacher said, okay, Joseph, now we're going to put some wind training. And he got a guy, jiu-jitsu. Oh my gosh, he was tough. He was tough, and he knew how to make me hurt. You know, every time that I threw a kick, he just hit my legs with his knuckles. Oh my gosh, that was bad. But that was okay because it was a real fair fight. And then we show him the difference between Jiu-Jitsu and Okinawate. Then he showed them, he explained Jiu-Jitsu and I explained Okinawate. Never in my life, ever, anybody tried to fight me. It was like, hey, how you doing, buddy? You know, okay, are you okay? You want my lunch?
Yeah.
I went from being the school sissy to being the school protector, because now I was protecting anybody that was being picked on. They would come to me, Joseph, please protect me. The bully is trying to hit me. Then I would go to the bully and say, you know, do you have a problem with my friend here? No.
So from that point on, that pretty much finished our trip. We drove back to Tijuana. By then it was dark by the time we got to Tijuana. And there we had time to stop off and see a refugee from Haiti who had come up from Brazil, and visit with them for a little while and see them and provide some money. His name was Frank. He had come up from Brazil a few years earlier, walked all the way, and was a refugee living with other Haitian refugees there in downtown Tijuana. We were able to help him. He was having some medical problems at the time, health conditions, so we gave him some money to help him and his group. 2020, providing aid to various groups here in Tijuana. This is an association of Haitians who've been here now for about 5 years, trying to survive. Their situation is very difficult here in Tijuana. In the past, we have delivered other items to them, items for mothers and blankets, clothing, other things. Today, all that we have left before we go to the United States, what we're leaving with them are a bunch of ground cushions for people who have to sleep on the ground or the street. And so here is Frank. He's not feeling too good. He has a little medical problem. We're saying he's kind of the leader of the association. He's a pastor in his church, and he's about 6'5" feet. And walking, okay. Walking, he speaks some Spanish, some Portuguese, some other languages, but he's kind of one of the group leaders as well. So these are the things we're donating. We have 2 tents, those carpets. We have a bunch of things to sleep on. So for the people who don't have a place to sleep, even after 5 years here in Tijuana, many Haitians are living very rough because they don't have work, they don't have income, and they're living very difficult. Okay, so gracias ustedes, todo. And then from there on, crossed back into California, made the straight drive back to Provo, all night long driving, and part of the next day. But we got back safe. But it was just an incredible trip. Only 3 nights and 2 days on the road, there and back. I wish it had been a longer trip, but it was a very exciting adventure for us. Yep, we drove back real fast. So we only spent 2 days going to Ensenada and back. But what happened on the way back to Utah in near Beaver?
Yeah, we stopped in Beaver because we had like a noise. We didn't know what the noise was, and it was something that stuck on the tire. But then when we raised the window, the winds were so strong that they blew the window.
It just blew the window right off.
Blew the window right off, the back window of the car, and then it was like, oh my gosh. We raised our hands, and then there were glass inserted on our hands because the glass was flying so fast with the wind. And then we just drove without a window all the way to Utah.
Back window, the back
window,
the van.
Yeah, the back window. We drove all the way. The brand new windows.
Brand new. And the car had been just painted, and it was scratched up now.
yeah. It was an experience, but we forget that because the most important thing that we did was to see the happiness on the people's faces that we brought the donations to.